Hey everybody, how you doing? Coach Keith here, and today's going to be a great day. The fact that you're here right now, I think, is just going to make a big difference for you and your business and your life. It is the second webinar of our 2-webinar series, so it's our final webinar. Anybody that's watching this that watched it last week, right now you should be sitting watching this and you have accomplished 2 life wheels, 2 work wheels, and you did your daily sheets in between, and now you should be laser focused. You should have traction. I guarantee you have leads or you followed up with past clients. You should feel internally inspired. You should be focused and internally inspired. You know, it's crazy because I've been doing this for 10 years, and my clients that I've had for 10 years are the same clients. So they have me coming every week all year long with a few days off for vacation to come in and help them. And what I do is I apply the systems I'm giving you here. I coach them one-on-one. I help them lead their emotional state of mind to where they can get their best life and their success. And some of these successes, you guys, are absolutely crazy. I mean, I've taken teams like Katrina and Neil. When I met them, their personal life was kind of in a mess. It was good, but it was in a mess. And what they were doing is they had all this potential and they were frustrated by it. And that was leading them into a place of not taking action or just being frustrated. So after applying the systems, I mean, Katrina was so focused. She was doing the life wheel twice a week. She was doing the work wheel twice a week. So she ended up doing 32 things a week, 16 in her life, 16 in her business. And when we started with them, their income was anywhere around $250,000, $300,000, and now their business has had 2 solid consecutive years of $1.4 million. And in the market that you're in today, and the realtors out there know that this market is different, it is harder, we are struggling a little bit more, they're still killing it. And they're laser focused in the moment on what they need to do in their business. So let's just do a real quick cap of what's going to happen here today. Today we're going to do a quick review of the life and the work wheel and the depth of why that's important to you. We're going to look at what laser focus really means. It's a word that I use without even knowing that I'm using it. I am personally laser focused today. I'm personally laser focused every day because these systems that I'm coaching you with are the systems that I've applied to my own life for my own success and all of my clients' success. So I'm going to show you what laser focus looks like, how it's created, and how this system does it for you. And then I'm going to show you this one, which is, I know this sounds ridiculous and it sounds too easy, but balance equals success. Balance equals 2 times and 3 times your income. Because you, as an individual, need to be the best tool in your business. You know, I want you to know that what we're doing here is on a deeper level than just me doing a webinar coaching to you. I want you to know that why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I know the limitations that I had in my life by my brain. I know that my belief system, and I knew that the things that I wanted to achieve weren't coming, and I was getting frustrated. I had an expectation of what I wanted. I wasn't getting it. I got frustrated. And I know a lot of you out there might be, connecting with this right now. Why I'm here is to make a positive impact in your life. My passion is coaching and helping people achieve their best success. The reason I like to do this, I don't even know why, but I'm driven by this, and I get so much joy out of being here knowing that right now you're watching this, and I'm going to give you my systems for free to impact your life. And the real reason is if everyone out there did the life wheel and your marriage got better and you're better with your kids and you're better with your business and you have more money for your life, I am impacting you in a positive way. I'm giving you tools and an ideology and a philosophy that you're going to implement into your life on a weekly basis to always be able to get exactly what you want. No more frustration. No more, what do I do? Where do I start? My business is struggling. There's no more of this. I'm giving you a system that erases all of that. So the reason I want you to know that I'm here today talking to you is because of my personal inspiration and drive to be a coach for as many people as I can. And that's why I'm here today. So let's get started. Let's do the review on the life and the work wheel and what it's all about. And also I want to talk to you about the plus oneing. The plus oneing is a philosophy that all my agents and all my clients apply to their businesses, and that's why I know they're going to have a great future, because they're never standing still. They never get comfortable. They always realize that, hey, this is working well, I want to be even better, what do I need to do? And then we implement the plus oneing. So that's what the life wheel is all about, is the plus oneing. Okay, is that in the camera? Can you see that? No, good, perfect. All right, emotional focus and balance. I told you balance is the key to having success in your life. And I don't want to just use this as a pro quo, quick thing to say that a coachy coach says to everybody. I want you to know this is legitimately real. Emotional focus is created by having a balanced life. So the life wheel, its number one most important thing to do is to give you emotional focus, a positive state of mind. And for the people out there that have, this is the first time you're at the webinar, you didn't see the first webinar, if you look to the bottom right, there's a place there where you can download the Focus 30 2010 sheets, which is the life wheel, the work wheel, and the daily worksheet. And what you're going to have is you're going to have the tools that I'm talking about now, and I'll review them quickly so you know what to do. We also have other videos that I'm going to tell you about later so that you can go back and review. And also you'll all be receiving a recording of the previous webinar if you registered, and this webinar that you're going to have access to. Emotional focus. So the plus oneing philosophy is I'm only going to do one example because last time it just went too fast for everyone. The feedback was, I want to know more of how this works instead of what it does. So that was the feedback. So my family life right now is at a solid 9, okay? I want to take that up to a 10. So I'm going to choose a +1 action. I'm going to +1 my life. I'm going to +1 my family. And right now we're at a 9. And to go to a 10, I ask myself, if I was at a 10, what would I have that I don't have at a 9? Which takes me into a different part of my thinking process. And at a 10, what I would have is, I would have a feeling that I'm paying more attention to my children. Cole's 21, Livy's 19. They're all in their own worlds. Chris and I are going away on vacation on Saturday. So between now and Saturday, I am going to have an individual date with my son and my daughter, coffee, lunch, just so that I know I personally feel more connected. Now, I'm getting emotional and I don't want to, so I'm going to stop it, but that's the kind of shit that happens when you make your life important. So I get my emotional focus to 100% because I know that I'm taking care of the parts of my life that are important. So it's like family, health, learning, marriage, friends, mental health, spiritual, and work. Your life wheel is going to be completely different than my life wheel. You might add something like hobbies or fun in there. You might add travel in there. You might add, I've done a work wheel for a business. I walked into a bakery. There's 5 guys that were running the bakery. And when I did their work wheel and life wheel, the work wheel had 19 parts to it for running a bakery. And we wrote down each part, we rated themselves, how they were feeling in the moment in each part. They +1 each one of those actions, and when they left that meeting, they had 18 actions to improve their business. Did it work? Absolutely. They delegated that, they moved it on, and the next thing you know, 1 week later, I get a phone call and they go, we want you back. That was amazing. We can't do it on our own. I'm like, yes, you can. You can do it on your own. Just go back, pull out that wheel I did, put it back on there, refocus, where am I today in my business, and put a +1 action in place. The work wheel. So here's my work. I pull it over here, and now I create a work wheel, and I get laser focused on the parts of my work. And the parts of my work in the work wheel are marketing, my commitment and discipline to my business, my office systems, my lead generation, client management, confidence and thick skin, and time management and technology. Now here's the thing. I'm just going to pick one of them in my business. I'm going to go with client management. So past client management, my clients, I would say I'm at a 6 on that. I don't do a very good job of that. So what I want to do is I want to take that to a 7, but now I'm going to put in a different time frame. Up here I said, what am I going to do before Saturday? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what am I going to do by the end of the year to improve my past client management to go from a 6 to a 7? And I've already decided that if you are my client or you become my client, I am going to be doing a live in-person goal setting for my clients' kids and friends. So, you know, you guys have a benefit of seeing this and clicking on a link and getting it for free. And all of our friends and family out there don't have access to coaches, and they don't have access to this growth and learning process that we have as entrepreneurs that are looking to take our life and business to the next level all the time. So I'm going to do that. That's the action I'm going to do. That's definitely going to improve my past client management. Now, that's how it works. It's the life wheel, the work wheel. You put it out there. The number one thing that I want you to realize that what this does is, number one, it puts you where you are in the moment in your business and life by evaluating and saying, right now in my business, I am at a 7 out of 10 in my marketing. I am at a 5 out of 10 in my lead generation. It just tells you exactly where you are. You know, one client I was coaching who had absolutely all the tools they needed in their own personal self to go out and get their success. And all they would ever say to me is, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do first. And I'm just like, okay, well, let's figure out where you are right now. And so that's how we started doing the scaling. And the funny thing is when my clients started to scale themselves and say, okay, my marketing's at a 4, they realized why they were frustrated in their business. They realized that they weren't maximizing their potential, and they realized that in order to make it better, they needed to take some actions. We put the +1 actions in place, and then they started going. Now that client today has stayed with me and is doing really, really well in their life and business. Matter of fact, when I met him, he came from another company to my company, and he was at 8 transactions for the year and told me that, you know, it was like, I'm doing really good. It was 8 transactions. Average commission was $10,000. It was $80,000. He had a BMW, and he looked at me as a young man, probably I think at the time 28, and he said to me, hey, I'm doing better than my friends. And I'm like, wow, that's a pretty low bar, but that's what I said in my head. I didn't say it out loud, believe me. And I said, okay, so, you know, do you think that you're possible of accomplishing more? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, great. And so what he did was, he sat down with me, he joined my office, we did the +1ing right away. He had this, he got excited and he realized where his business was at. So he did 8 in the previous year. In the next 6 to 7 months, he did 20 transactions. And then he went on to the next 2 years to do 36 to 40 transactions, and he created a bit of a ceiling. And then when we met again, we just implemented the +1ing, and we had to get through some emotional stuff as far as investment and fear of money and spending money, which he got over right away. And now that agent, who's actually signed up, I believe, for this webinar, so I'm going to give a shout out to Tim Hill, and Tim Hill was just voted top 50 under 35 in Canada for real estate, and he has a business that he can trust based on the coaching principles that I'm giving you right now. If that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. I know you don't want to compare to others because it doesn't feel good. I just want you to know that the system that we have right here is what he implemented to tap into his full potential and get there. So number one, this system puts you in the moment in your business, analyzing where you are so you have a starting point and you want to move forward. Next, number two, it gives you small, focused actions that you can implement to improve your business. So if you get overwhelmed by things, now here's a number, here, okay, so let's just go to this place here. So I meet my client, I go in, and they're like, I want to double my business. I want to go up here. I want to make this next level. There's an award that I want to achieve, and I want to get to that next level. And what do I do to do it? And I'm like, okay, well, you know, he goes, I know what I need to do. So, okay, what do you need to do? I need to do a farm. I need to do my open houses. I need to do lead generation. I need to buy a lead generation system. I need to have CRM for follow-up. I have to hire an assistant. I want to get a buyer agent, and I'm going to do it. And they get so excited because they do have the knowledge of what they need to do to get there. And there's a difference between knowing and doing. And the difference between knowing and doing is obviously the small steps that you need to take there, except this person wanted to do it all now, and wanted to do it fast. So when I did his goal setting with him, I said we need a budget of $120,000 to implement the assistant, to implement the farm, to implement the lead generation system, to implement the just list is just sold, and you have to do this for 18 months, and it's a $120,000 investment. And he just kind of went, oh. Right? Because that's a big chunk of cash. Now, over a period of 18 months, that breaks down to a smaller chunk of cash, but it's still a chunk of cash. Because it's funny, just before in this webinar, Ben, the videographer, goes, oh, realtors, they make a lot of money, right? I'm like, hey, man, it's a tough gig. Being an entrepreneur, being self-employed is tough. You have expenses that you have to cut every month. You have to invest in yourself. You've got your family bills on the side. You take the work bills plus the family bills, and all of a sudden you've got this weight on your shoulders, and it's like, you know what? I have to get rid of something. I can't handle this stress. So you get rid of as many work bills as you can because the family bills are there anyways, and that's where realtors are struggling because they're investing too much, trying to get a fast return instead of just slowly building your business. Not slowly like 5, 10 years. I'm talking slowly like 1 and 2 years. You work this system, you get access to me. You get access to a private Facebook group that supports you. You get access to my Facebook page. You send me an email. I'll answer them. I'll help you as we go along. What I want you to know is it's the little steps that you get from plus oneing that you can put into action that take your business to the next level. So the second thing that this gives you is it gives you a small, focused action in the right direction plus oneing your business. It's just that is all you need to do. Now, number 3. This gives you direction. You do not feel lost. If you're out there and you did the 2 life wheels and the 2 work wheels, you feel focused with a direction and you know you're moving forward and you know you're going to have success because you started as a 6 to get to a 7 and you did it and now you're at a 7. So now I ask you on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are and you say, I'm at a 7. And I say, great, what are you going to do to move to an 8? Another success story on this process is a client of mine, Jody Steves. And like Katrina, she was so wanting to move forward so fast because she had a glass ceiling in her business of about 30 transactions and they were all buyers, no listings. So she needed to transition her business. So she hired me, I walked in there, we did this process, she got so excited. Like Katrina, Jody went and did 2 life wheels a week and 2 work wheels a week to the point where it expedited her success. Now, is it possible? Well, yes, it's possible because there's small actions. So what happened is she did the first life wheel, the first work wheel. She emailed me the next day saying, I've done all the actions. I feel great. This is awesome. And then I came back next week and she had done 2 and she'd put them all into place and she did it again. She got so inspired and so focused on the right things to do that without spending a huge chunk of money to just build a listing business, she spent some time with her past clients. She did some just listed, some just sold. She did a little bit of door knocking. She did some changing in her marketing. She started to do her value-based marketing, which I talk about in the Realtor Profit System, which is a massive, awesome thing that you need to do in your business. If you haven't, heard that from me before, you have to check that out. She went and she implemented those small actions and she achieved her success. What else does doing the life wheel and the work wheel do? Well, it gives you a feeling of control. A feeling of control. You don't feel like you have no direction. You don't feel like, oh my goodness, where do I start? You don't feel, this is out of my control. What happens is you get emotional focus. Just by doing this, without having to meditate it, without having to do whatever you need to do to get your emotional focus back, which I highly recommend doing, which I also do in my coaching, and I have other tools and systems for that are offered to you as well. Bottom line is how you feel creates your thoughts. Those thoughts create an action. Those thoughts turn into a story. That story creates more action. Then you get the results. So it all starts with how you feel to create the thoughts that create a story, that create an action, that get you the result. Everyone has a story. Farming doesn't work. I've heard that from many, 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 many realtors that hire me. And then eventually what happens is they're plus oneing their business and like, okay, I want more listings. And I'm like, one of the best ways to get listings is to be top of mind awareness to these people all the time. You know, with my ownership of my franchises, I get a lot of benefits. I get to go to some of the best speakers of the world. And recently I went to Colorado and the speaker was from the MGM hotels. He was the chief sales officer and he was just amazing. This guy went from like busboy to chief sales officer of this operation. And he was just amazing on what he talked about. And one of the biggest takeaways that I got was top of mind awareness used to be that people needed to see you 3 to 4 times every month. So back in the day, we'd hear the coaches and they'd tell us that. So back in the day, we didn't have the internet, so we would do just listeds, we would do just solds, we would door knock, we would do whatever we could, an ad in the paper, so people would see us 3 to 4 times a month, so they'd be at the top of mind. He said today, with the way the world is, with technology, with our attention span shortening, that number is no longer 3 to 4, it's now 18 to 20 times a month. And you're like, well, how the heck am I going to get to somebody 18 to 20 times a month? Well, the first thing you should all be doing is you should be on your social media geographically targeting the areas where you want to be top of mind awareness. It is the most inexpensive way to do it. If you've never heard about geographically targeting posts or ads, you need a business page. You set up your business page, go to YouTube, type in, how do I do a geographical ad on Facebook, follow it, do the tutorial and put it in there. It's so important because as they're browsing and having fun, your ad crosses them. Then maybe you do a just sold that's on an advertisement that crosses in front of them. Then they see the listing, then they drive by, then they see a just sold, you door knock, you hold an open house. These people need to see you 18 to 20 times. You need to be in their face. And by the way, video works the best. And the reason video works the best is because we want personal connection. And when I look at a piece of paper, I don't get a personal connection. Again, talking about value-based marketing, you may be able to do some things with your core values on your marketing that will connect you, but not, all the time. But in video, they know who you are, they know how much you care, and they know that you really want to help them move into their house, and they can see who you are. Video allows them to create an instantaneous rapport or judgment of you that says, hey, this person's pretty good. I've got a young guy, Jeff McLennan, out there. He is killing it in social media. He's doing video. He's doing personal video. He's raising funds for charity through video. He's doing market updates through video. He's got a great following. Jeff has just recently, he did a podcast with a couple of partners of his, Jeremy Ray, Matt Brabant, and their podcast is a local Vancouver podcast, and they just did their first deal from the podcast. So these are the things that you need to be doing with video. You need to be seen 18 to 20 times. So you feel in control, and the most important part, number 5, is the compound effect. The compound effect. You do the plus oneing every week, and let's just say you take 5 weeks off. So that means in a 52 week, you're going to do this 47 times, which means 47 times 8 is 56, carry the 5, 376 actions in your life and 376 small actions in your business that puts you in the moment, improving your business, moving forward. Can you imagine the compounding effect? Now, when I sat here today and I told you my family's at a 9, I want you to know that I've been doing my life wheel for 12 years when I figured this out and defined my own success, and I realized what I wanted in family, and this was important. I've been doing this for 10 years. Am I at a 9? No, I'm at a 900. My life and my family, as a leader for my family, my purpose in life to be a leader for my children and my family, I am crushing it. And the reason I'm crushing it is, and I'm not being arrogant right now, I'm being proud. If you can't be proud, then you got to get out of the game. You can be silently proud, but I'm being proud loud right now with you because I want you to know how this works. I have been doing this for so long that my 9 is no longer a 9. The compound effect is crazy. I have an amazing relationship with my children, an amazing relationship with my wife, amazing relationships with the people that I work with because I'm always improving, I'm always plus oneing. So that's what we get from doing the life and the work wheel. All right, here we go. The one word I use all the time, laser focus. What does laser focus mean? Laser focus is the ability to not be defocused by your emotions. Defocusing is what we don't want. So if the problem is we get defocused by our emotions, like, I was coaching one realtor who personally came to me and his business was at about $260,000, $270,000 ceiling in his business. I sat down with him, I was coaching him, and I found out that he was in complete fear of going broke. And basically what happened was, his history was, he was a young man in a family with a father that was successful, and every year, 2 times, 3 times a year, they go to Hawaii. It was an amazing life and an amazing childhood. Up until dad left, didn't support the family, he was left with mom, and they lived in poverty and they were broke. So right there you can see that psychological situation had impacted him so strongly that as he moved forward, he didn't want to spend money on his business because he was afraid that it would all go away. I put him in the moment. I asked him, how much is in your savings? How much do you have saved up? How much equity do you have? Okay, are you going to go broke in the next year? I give him the worst case scenario. He says, no. I said, so if you never create or sell or get any income in the next year, will you go broke? He said, no, I'm fine. I said, okay, what if we spent $60,000 and didn't sell anything all year? Would you go broke? He's like, no, I'm fine. I said, okay, for the next year, and he's already successful, okay? Like, he's got a good business. He's got a business that he can trust every year to perform to $250,000, $260,000, okay? That's a great business. And he wants to go to the next level, and the only thing holding him back is this psychological belief, and I helped him acknowledge that belief. He shifts that belief to where he'll be fine, and oh my goodness, he increased his farm. He went from black and white to color. He started doing client events. All these things went into place. The next year, he broke through the glass ceiling, and he got over $500,000, and the following year, he ended up hiring an assistant and a team, and then basically 2.5 years after that meeting where he broke that psychological belief, he ended up going over $1 million in commissions in 1 year. Same guy, different belief. Now, every time I met him, we had to struggle around that because it was really strong because of what happened to him in his youth. He did not want that to happen for him and his family, so he was laser focused on making sure to do that. And the way I got him laser focused was by not letting him be defocused by the history of the story of that horrific past, right? So there you go. So purpose plus time frame equals focus. Now, when you do your life wheel and you do that over and over again, you're actually on track to live your best life. And so let's just call that your purpose, okay? So now that you've done it over and over, you're excited, you're focused, you're taking small actions in your marriage, with your kids, everything's going great, you're on track for your best life, you're at an 8 out of 10 in your best life, there's only 2 more to go theoretically, so you are on track with your purpose. Now, you need a time frame. So the time frame is, right now on this webinar, we want to finish strong, so our time frame is October, November, December, the next 3 months. So when I ask the question, what am I going to do to have my best life in the next 3 months? And my genius, okay, and when I say genius, if you missed the first webinar and you don't know who I am, this can be a little controversial for some people. I'm not saying you're a genius like Jimmy Neutron or Sir Isaac Newton. I'm saying you have a genius. You have a collective knowing. You know you better than you. You know, why would I tell you what to do in your business and I don't even know who you are? That's why I ask questions. I help you access you. I help you access your genius. This part of you that knows that marketing works, that knows that just listens work, all the stuff that you see other realtors doing working, you know it works, and yet you don't implement it in your own business, or you do, but you don't implement it with the same conviction, and therefore you don't get the same result. So To have laser focus, you need a time frame, 3 months, and you need to live your best life. Now, a purpose can be a lot deeper than this, and I go into that, into the Realtor Profit System, and what I want you to know is I've defined my purpose, I defined my definition of my own success, and because of that, I got very clear on what I wanted, and I gave myself a time frame, and I plus one'd it, and I went there. I'm not saying I'm living a perfect life. Don't you get me wrong. I make mistakes, I screw up, I fix them because that's the plus oneing process. I own them because that's the self-work. I own my mistakes, I own where I screw up, and then I make them better. So my purpose in life is to make a positive impact in your life and to be a leader for my children, have a great marriage so that I can always achieve mastery. AIM is my company, achieve individual mastery. My purpose in life is to be on a journey of always wanting to be better so that I can make an impact in other lives. That's a very powerful statement, and I do that on a daily basis. How am I going to make an impact on people's lives today? And here I am on this webinar. So, laser focus is purpose plus time frame equals laser focus. So, number 1, the life wheel leads you to your best life, which leads you to your purpose. You're on the path to your purpose, which then gives you inspiration and drive, internal inspiration. You do this work and never see me again. You do the work, never see me again. I guarantee you'll be inspired by your actions. You'll be inspired by yourself. You'll have the drive that you need to go to the next level. To have laser focus, you need your purpose. You need your time frame. Your time frame is the next 3 months. Your purpose is to live your best life. What are you going to do to live your best life in the next 3 months? Work is part of your life. What are you going to do in the next 3 months that improves your work, that takes you to that next level? So, what does this do? Number 1, the life wheel leads you to your best life, which leads you to your purpose, which has you inspired internally and with drive. Inspiration and drive. Number 2, the time frame gives you an urgency. It creates urgency. The number 1 thing all entrepreneurs out there should do right now is put an end to your day. You should put out there that, you know what, today I'm going to end my day at 5. Or if you have evening appointments, the last appointment, let's say it's over at 8:30, you should draw a line on your day and say, I'm ending my day at 8:30. This webinar is going to be over at 11 o'clock. What are you going to do between 11 and 8:30 to plus one your business in your life? That's the impact I'm talking about. If you don't have a time frame, you don't have urgency. So what does that look like? It looks like, well, I'll just get to it tomorrow, or, I'll get to it later, no urgency. You see, the way your brain works in the neuroscience is, your brain is systematic and sequential. It likes things to be in a system, to feel in reward, to be calm, and it likes a sequence from important to less important. That way that knows if you take care of the important things that you shouldn't stress and life's going to be good. This mechanism up here, your brain, is automatically running on a fear-based mechanism, a survival mechanism. Unless you reprogram it, it's going to just go there right away, and you're going to feel like I procrastinate, or I'm lazy, or I don't do enough. Those are things I hear all the time from realtors, entrepreneurs. It's just a crazy thing to think that a self-employed person that's successful says they're lazy. What it is you're not taking and maximizing the tool, your brain, by putting things in a sequential order of importance. So a time frame creates urgency and allows your genius to choose the right next action. That's an important statement, the right next action. So it gives sequence and system to the brain. If you don't have a time frame, you'll feel unorganized. You won't get things done. Your schedule as an entrepreneur is your most important tool. So when I talk about being laser focused in a calm, organized, intentional direction, absolutely, this is what it does. The truth is, the tool I created solves the problem of being defocused, where you're stressed, worried, you feel like you're lost, and you don't know where to start. So that was the problem. I'm a solution-focused coach with a positive outcome frame with over 20,000 hours coaching individuals, and I created a tool that gets you from being emotionally defocused to emotionally focused to give you laser focus in your business. This, guys, is so important. All right, let's move on. What does it look like to have a purpose-driven business? What does it look like to have laser focus on your purpose on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? And if all you did was a life wheel that gives you that focus, you don't even need to define your purpose or your why. Just do your life wheel on a weekly basis and you're automatically on the direction of going there. So what does it really do for you? Well, here's where I meet a lot of people, okay? I meet a lot of people where they're taking the same actions over and over and expecting a different result. I call this the loop of insanity. Now, when I'm talking about a loop, I'm talking about a neurological loop in your brain, a pattern, a groove, a way of thinking that you think over and over and over again. And that's what I call a loop, okay? So it's a neurological loop. It's your thought process that you have over and over that becomes ingrained and it becomes the way that you live your life. So I meet a lot of people that say, I'm doing exactly what that other realtor's doing and I'm not getting any success. And I'm like, well, if you were doing exactly what that other realtor is doing, you would have success. So what part is missing? So the problem is you're taking these actions, but you're not getting the result. Let's reverse engineer it. Let's find the problem. Let's get focused on the solution. Let's put it in place. That's what I do. So I meet a lot of people there. And then I always meet the people that are, having success with a glass ceiling, but struggling. I meet them where they're focusing on the results. And when they're focusing on the results and the results aren't good, that creates a negative feeling. That negative feeling has them not inspired, therefore they don't take more action. Or they focus on the results and the results are good and they're good, so they take their foot off the gas and next thing you know, they're falling behind on their goals or they're not achieving what they want to achieve. They're now comfortable in the success that they had, but they're not laser focused on what they need to do to keep that consistency and that solid drive in their business. Now, how does it work? When I have purpose, I get laser focus. Okay, so you can call this your why as well. If you're confused by the word purpose, I can understand that's a big word. A life with purpose, a life that's going in a direction of purpose gives you laser focus. When you have laser focus, you build the right plan for your business. When you build the right plan for your business, you take the right action. When you're taking the right action that's aligned with your plan and you know you're fulfilling your purpose, you are internally inspired. You don't need to see me and then 3 weeks later be de-inspired or be inspired by my energy or my want to help you or anything that I do to inspire you. I don't want that to dissipate and go away. I want you to have that moving forward. So to have that moving forward, that internal inspiration, purpose leads to focus, focus leads to your plan, plan leads to the right action gets you inspired, so you take another right action. See, now you've got 2 right actions that you've taken because you're inspired. And therefore, now you get the results. If you've ever been coached by me, if you ever met me, if you've ever seen me speak, you know I speak about celebration on a different level than most people. And when you celebrate your successes in the way that I celebrate, then those results celebrated become successes. You celebrate the successes. And what do I mean by successes? Successes in your family, successes in your business, successes in your health, successes in your work, all your life wheel successes. Each one of those, when you celebrate the results of each one of those, you know that you're in your deeper knowing, in your genius, that you're on track living your best life. Now, when I'm aligned with my purpose and I know that I'm living on my purpose and I'm doing my life wheel over and over and I know I'm on this creates a barrier of confidence where when someone says, hey, nice outfit, I don't go, oh, do I look fat? I go, thanks, and I walk away. Because I know I'm living my best life on purpose, and in my deeper knowing, I know daily that I am doing the right thing to live my best life, to impact people in a positive way, to be a leader for my family and create an awesome marriage. I'm always achieving individual mastery and I want to move to the next level. It's that thought process that strengthens me, inspires me to keep taking the actions and keep driving through every obstacle that gets in my way. I understand the things that get in the way. I don't have enough time, family, my wife just went back to work and I can't do work and balance at the same time. And I'm like, BS. Pull out your calendar, do your life wheel, put it in there, put in everything, schedule everything in your wheel. You know, I talk about scheduling and the calendar and the big rocks and the small rocks and the sand and everything in my Realtor Profit System. It's in some of my other videos. Go to my YouTube Coach Keith site, you know, go there, check them out. Or if you become a Realtor Profit System member, you have a stack of videos and webinars that I've done that you have access to. And the videos I've done are in short spurts, so you can binge watch it like Netflix. And each one covers everything that you need to focus on, and you can watch over and over again. Just like the life wheel, everything needs to be repeated. You might take information in now and forget about it tomorrow, so re-watch this again. That's why I put together the Realtor Profit System, so you have something that you have access to all year long that you can go, and at any point in time you can get realigned with your purpose. You can go and get realigned with your scheduling and the 4 quadrants. You can go get the daily routine. You can watch me talk about how to, you know, if you're having trouble getting your listings, I talk about generating leads for your listings. I talk about generating, you know, buyer leads. I talk about the science and the psychology of how to, you know, get people out of hijack and how to use language and how to create dialogues. And it's all there. So at any point in time, if you were struggling with, you know, if you're struggling with a personal situation on how to communicate, there is one whole section on having difficult conversations and a structure on how to communicate. I put everything that's in those videos for you to access at any point in time, so you have a tool and an access, and you have me as a coach. Then you can watch the videos that I post weekly on the Realtor Profit System private page, or you can watch the videos on AIM Coaching. I am laser focused at bringing to you this philosophy, these solutions, so you can live your best life. All right, so when you have a life of purpose, you have focus. When you have focus, you have a plan. You take the right action. You're internally inspired to take more action. Then you get your results. We celebrate the results, which is you take pride that you did the work to get there, and you explore the value and your core values that you applied to get there. And then you see the successes in all the parts of your life. You take pride that you're focused. You take a complete deep look at your core values that you implement to have your success, and then you know that this is the business you're running, and you create this awesome loop in your brain that I am on purpose and I know that I'm accomplishing it. That's how this works on a deep level. All right. So, if you're looking for some support in your business, you can access me through the private Facebook group, or you can come to me and register for the Realtor Profit System, which is a membership page which has access to this video. It has access to my Success Meeting 4-series video that we did back in the beginning of the year in March. You'll have access to all these videos. You'll access to over 5 hours 5.5 hours of video that accomplish everything that you need. Now, my clients that I see weekly have all bought the process in the system. And what I want you to know is what comes free with the system is an app that I've developed, and the app is got the life wheel, so you can do it electronically if you like. It's got the 4 quadrants. It's got a complete CRM, small CRM, where you can go from lead to sale. It's got a checklist on the sales. It's got access to all your leads, and you can tap a button to text them, call them, phone them, and you can move them through your system. It's got a CEO's report, which tracks your business, your average commission, where you're at financially, what you have for projected income, and it gives you a tracking system for all your listings, so you can put it in there, type in the realtor, and you have access and you keep track of all that. It has over 18 systems built into the app, and the app's free. It comes with the Realtor Profit System. It's called the AIM Real Estate Focus app. Look it up. And you can find it anywhere. You can type it in. If you type AIM Real Estate Focus, you'll see a landing page that gives you all the description of the app. The Realtor Profit System is a regular $497. Anybody that's watching this today is going to get it for a short period of time at $197. It includes the app. It includes 5 hours of video of me telling you about your purpose. It shows you the systems I talk about client appreciation events. I talk about lead generation. I talk about client follow-up. I talk about the psychology of having and managing and leading your clients down a path so they're not disappointed. I talk about solving problems. I talk about, having conflictual conversations. I talk about, there's so much information there. It took me forever to put it together. I hired a company that edited it. We put it all in there, and we're giving it to you today at $197. It includes the app, which is like having a coach in your pocket. And what I want you to know is my clients use this stuff because they know it works. And I gave them a big binder. It was too big, so I said, I'll make it into an app. I made it into an app, and now I have the videos. And it's funny because today I looked on the registration, and I would say 90% of my clients have registered to watch this webinar, which blows my mind. Aren't you guys sick of me yet? I'm sick of me sometimes. I just, they're there, they're watching, and I'm blown away by the loyalty. I'm blown away by the support. My clients make me feel like a rock star because I get to live through their successes. I am 100% successful with all my clients because I tailor their life wheel and they tailor their business to them. They implement the actions, they get the results, they get internally inspired, they take more action, and then they start this process of, hey, today's really good, this is what worked well, and it'd be even better if I did this. And they're kinder to themselves, they hire people, they live on purpose. I have all my clients define their purpose with me. And I have 3 that have bought into this so deeply. They're watching the webinar. I saw them. They signed up. How are you doing, Bernadette? How are you doing? And her business has quadrupled. She went from 2 employees to 8 employees. She went from 50 million in mortgages, she's a mortgage broker, to over 150 million. She's balanced, she's happy, she's taking vacations. I told you about Katrina and Neil. Katrina and Neil have quadrupled their business, and they take 12 to 13 weeks off a year and every Friday and Sunday because they built a system that they can implement. They +1'd it over the last 5 years, and every time we hit a glitch like, I took Sunday off and I didn't return the call fast enough, then we just went out, we got another company phone, and we gave the company phone to one of the other part of the team. That way someone's always answering the phone. So now we have a personal phone and a company phone. So that was the solution to that problem. These ladies are laser focused on making a positive, lasting impact in their clients and their community. Bernadette's motto is she wants to make a positive, lasting impact in her client's life, and she does it through creating success through caring. That's her model. Here's an amazing story about Bernadette. She advised a client to go into a mortgage. They went into the mortgage, and 3 years later, they decided to do something and move, which they kind of knew, and Bernadette knew that, and she put them into a product that she thought was only going to be 3 months interest payment to get out, not a big penalty. Well, she was wrong. The penalty was very large. Ended up being $15,000 mistake. She called me up and she said, Coach, I can't believe I've done this. What do you think I should do? I said, well, what is your company's policy? Like, what is your purpose? She goes, well, it's success through caring. They hired me as a professional. I gave them the advice. I gave them the wrong advice. And she looked at me and she goes, I'm going to pay the $15,000 penalty, which she did do. And of course, everyone out there in the world knows one kind act just replicates itself. Well, she ended up getting 5, 6 referrals from that one client. But that was not the intention of paying it back. The intention of paying it back was to live by her core value, the value of her company, so she could live on purpose. So this is how powerful this can be for you. And I want you to take this seriously. And I want you to know that if you have any questions, you can fire them off right now, and I'll try to help you answer them. You can access me. You have a private support group once you're part of the Realtor Profit System. You can go watch my videos at Coach Keith on YouTube. Subscribe. Support me. Facebook, go to AIM Coaching Programs. Like it. If you've liked this program, give me a review. If you didn't like it, don't go there. Don't give me a review. I want to keep them as strong as we can go here. I'm really looking to make an impact in the world. I want to take my business to the next level. This webinar is obviously a part of that, and any support you could give me, any feedback that you can give me, through the channel, through the webinar channel, through any one of these, I would truly love and appreciate your help. I need your help. I want to help more people, which means I need more people watching, which means there needs to be more people spreading the word. So if you could do that for me, I would appreciate that, and I definitely will honor you. And anybody that comes to AIM Coaching is going to make sure they get a tailored process to have their best life and their success. So based on that, I'm just going to do a quick review. Any questions from anybody out there right now, guys? So hopefully this has worked out. If there's been some technical difficulties, I apologize. And of course, stay awake. Keep an eye out for me, because I will be doing a goal-setting webinar series in November. Probably just a 2-webinar series like this one. And now your homework today is to go out there to finish strong, is to do your life wheel, do your work wheel, and do your daily focus. And if you're attending this for the first time, you can go back, send us a message if you want the link to the first webinar, because in the first webinar we go into more detail on the life wheel, the work wheel, and the daily focus notepad. All right, well, that's it for me. Have yourself an amazing day, and thank you for watching, and I appreciate any support you can give me, and have a great life.